Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Lance here with Lance Crone Coaching, and bringing you guys another video. We are still talking about the 5 critical elements for a permanent transformation versus getting out of alignment on all things that are temporal, or a temporary makeover as we call it. So today we are actually on part 4. We're on goal setting structure for permanent and sustainable fitness success. So if you have not watched the other videos, be sure to go back and watch those too, because all of these together are going to give you the essentials of what it takes to not only get results, but to get results that last. That means that you're staying in shape as opposed to getting in shape and then wondering how to keep all of this off. That's what this is all focused on. So without further ado, diving right into the goal setting structure. Many of you guys have heard me talk about the difference between setting overzealous goals, setting goals that are really based on limiting belief factors, or setting goals that are really based on a willpower or a discipline that we don't yet possess. And this is something that happens so frequently. This is where people will set a goal to work out 5 or 6 times a week as if they've already reached their goal of working out 3 or 4 times a week consistently. Unfortunately, if you've not really built up that consistent habit yet of working out consistently or tracking your food, and you set a goal to do something that might even be a challenge for somebody who is already doing those things, you've set a goal that is pretty much set to fail. And so what we want to do is make sure that before setting goals, and the cool thing is that these principles are universal. This is not something that you're going to set within fitness and that's not going to be applicable within your relationship or your business or what have you. So if you're watching live or if you're watching replay, be sure to comment #live or #replay. Let me know where you're watching from as well. We're getting a lot of new viewers all over from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. So be sure to let me know where you're watching from and say hey too. So nevertheless, guys, so goal setting structure is done the right way. There's a difference between setting goals and using a goal setting structure. So our goal setting structure is going to pretty much take care of a couple different things. Number one, are your goals too rigid? These are the questions that a structure is going to help you to figure out. Number two, are you creating habits that are short-term, short-term habits in order to reach long-term goals? So this is one that I see more often than anything. So number one, if you're creating goals that you have not built up the willpower or discipline for, I'm going to encourage you, even though you're a high achiever, set baby goals, baby steps first. Once you've mastered that, mastering the habit is the foundation of your fitness. You're so busy worried about which diet is best and what time to stop eating and what time to work out and if you should cut out carbs that you failed to look at how you should set goals and whether or not you're setting goals that are a little bit too rigid or beyond your current abilities. The second thing is that if you're creating goals, as I mentioned here, that are short-term goals, but you're trying to, short-term habits that you're trying to reach long-term goals with, you're going to be having a problem. What I mean by that is if you have a long-term goal to get fit and stay fit, but yet your habits are more designed based on low-calorie dieting, fad dieting, working out around the clock, or maybe you're one of the cardio queens or kings that you're constantly in cardio. These are things that don't last. These are temporal habits that you've created, and yet your goals are not temporal. Your goals are lifelong lifestyle, permanent, eternal. These are the goals that we're after. So the next thing that you want to keep in mind is, are you stuck setting goals based on the old science that leads to burnout or returning back to old habits once you reach that goal? What I mean by this is that if you're not working on goals or working on your mindset to prevent you from falling back into old patterns and habits, unfortunately, you could be setting goals to get in shape, but if you don't have any principles or goal setting right after you've reached that goal, what happens is you've spent all of your time, all of your effort, your energy on this one goal, and now that you've reached it, all of your effort and energy is basically just sitting there waiting to be told what to do. And if you don't already have a plan for that, to be able to tell your energy, your effort, where to direct it to make something else happen, you're going to go back to what was most familiar. And this is what happens more often than anything. people reach their goals and then they go right back to where they came from. And a lot of people go, that was ridiculous. Why would they do that? They were so miserable. Well, it wasn't like they consciously chose it. Unfortunately, this was a subconscious decision, and this decision was not made consciously where they stopped and thought about, I think I like the way that things were before, I'm going back. It was more of, I don't really know what to do, and I know that this thing is over and I've reached my goal. I guess it's business as usual, and then we go back to everyday life. So the problem with this is that, again, we're never really working on the very habits or the I would say the tangled vines that keep on pulling us back into the old lifestyles that lead to low confidence, low energy, low vitality, not feeling like you want to, and not liking what you see in the mirror. Why do we go back to these things? Well, again, it's because we're setting goals that aren't really based on goal setting structure. So the last part of this video, what I want to do is give you our 4-part goal setting structure, the overview of it, so it makes a little bit more sense. So there are 4 things here. Number 1 is the goal. Your goal is your what. Everybody seems to get the goal parts, but nobody gets the parts that come after. Now, again, as you just heard, the way that you set a goal should be way, way different than what you probably think it should. It should be based on where your current lifestyle is, and it should be based on trying to make sure that you're keeping your habits so that they're semi-similar to what your current habits are. The more we keep those similar, any mild changes don't feel like it's jarring your system, and that's going to help you to actually stick with these habits. So number 1 is the goal. That's your what. That's what do I want. You cannot reach a goal if you never set the precedent for what it is that you desire. Do I want more confidence? Do I want to be down 30 pounds? Be specific. Be very, very specific. Make sure that you have every way of knowing that when you reach this goal, you know that you've reached it. Okay, so set your goal with what you want in mind. It's not enough to say to be healthier. It's not enough to say be fitter, to be better, to drop some weight. Be specific. Make it measurable. Something that you will know that I've reached it. Second part of the goal is your why. This is your underlying motivation. Your why is what drives your what. This is what allows your what to basically drive us into doing things that other people might be considered discipline. Why do Olympic athletes go train first thing in the morning and so on and so forth? Because their why is so important to them that they're willing to do things that other of us wouldn't even consider doing once. They're doing religiously. Why? Because of their why. Their emotional underlying motivation is pushing them to take action in areas that normally we would not do because it doesn't usually seem fun. This is the value of your why. It's not enough to say that you want to lose 30 pounds and to be more confident. Why do you want that? Guys, listen, this is so important. Most of the time when our clients, if a client doesn't reach a goal, it's because of this one thing here, because they're not connected or in tune enough with their why. So hear me. Just because this is not related to your meal plan or your workouts, I promise you, this is more important. This is more important than any of the diet crap that you're seeking out. This is why you're not reaching goals. You don't know your what, you don't know your why, and you're not really setting goals with the end in mind. You're only setting goals to get out of your current pain stance that you're in. I get it. It's just not the right way, okay? So when you set your why, it needs to be something that is emotionally driven. It needs to be something that feels like it motivates you to take action, something that creates or evokes immense emotion. It should be something that, again, when you say, I want to get in shape or get back into my size 32 jeans, you should be able to say, so that when I do, I finally have my old confidence back where I used to be, or so that my significant other knows that, or so that this happens, whatever it is, okay? It needs to be usually something bigger than just fitting in something for a wedding. Those are good reasons to take some action, but those are not reasons to keep yourself in shape for life. That's why so many people are like, yeah, I got myself in shape for the wedding, and then guess what? I gained 40 pounds. I'm like, of course you did. You learned all of this temporary stuff, and what you didn't know is that the temporary stuff that you did actually caused your metabolism to crash. It literally slowed down your metabolism and engorged your fat cells so that you could literally save energy. Now, you don't know that, but that's what happened. And so when you start with the end in mind, this stuff doesn't happen. Is this making sense? I hope it is. All right, number 3 with this. So we've got your goal, which is your what. We've got your underlying motivation, which is your why. The last thing for this is the goal system. This is your how. So your goal system is basically your practice, your action steps consistently that will not only lead to your goal, but will lead to other goals because it's a lifestyle. Let me paint you a picture. Setting a goal is I want to let's say this. I'm going to save $1,000 to go on vacation. Now, $1,000 would be a crappy vacation nowadays, but point is that I'm saving $1,000 to go on vacation. That is my goal. Now, a goal system does acknowledge the goal, but the goal is only a milestone. It's not the big picture. So the goal system says, I'm not just going to save $1,000 for this vacation. I'm going to save $300 a month for the rest of my life so that not only can I go on this vacation, I can do this every year. Do you see how the big picture changes? A goal system versus a goal is monstrously different, and it will set you free. The very last thing that I'm going to give you of the 4-part goal setting system is my good, great, and awesome goal setting. And this is where instead of setting a goal that's all or nothing, you set a low, a midstream, and a high stream goal. That this way here, instead of having I either lost 50 pounds or I lost nothing, instead it might look like this. I set my goal to be, my good goal is 35 pounds, my great goal is 45 pounds, my awesome goal is 55. So what this means is that for some reason, if I didn't quite hit my awesome goal, I might have hit my great goal, and yet this is not a failure. Oftentimes, if we don't focus on the fact that there are other goals that we're trying to reach, other data markers, we end up feeling like we failed even though we were highly successful. And so this way here prevents that as well, because now you're setting goals, and we do this even with the workouts as well, where you're setting goals that instead of being like I either pass or fail, it's more like, again, you're getting an A, B, or a C. And it's okay to get a C at times. It's okay to get a B. You want the A, but it's not always feasible to get an A in real life, okay? So the reality is that in this setting, when you use this 4-part goal setting system, it is going to keep you in alignment almost indefinitely as long as you continue to align yourself with these principles. So this is our goal setting structure. I hope that you see how beneficial it is and how valuable it is. This is literally what our clients, how they keep in line with everything. Now, obviously, we've got a lot of safety nets and things like that, but the point is that this here is what allows them to reach temporary goals, but also what allows them to stay in shape forever. That's why I'm doing the series. This series is all about permanent transformations because I am sick to death of seeing so many people getting their heart broken after they've dropped weight and then they gain it all back because nobody showed them what was going to happen, and nobody warned them that if you lose weight too quickly, you're going to crash your metabolism and pick up very disordered habits. So that's why I'm doing this. So I hope that this has helped you guys. I've got one more coming up that I'm going to do on exercise structure for the 5th and final critical element of a permanent transformation. If you feel like these have helped you and you feel like this could help somebody else, be sure to tag somebody else in this or share this. I want to get this out to as many people as possible so that the light bulbs go off and people start realizing, oh my gosh, I've been setting goals the wrong way. No wonder I'm not reaching this. As opposed to, what's wrong with me? I must not be disciplined. I'm tired of people feeling this way simply because they've never been shown the right way to do this. So hope this has helped you guys. If you feel like this has been of any value whatsoever, be sure to comment #value in the comments below. And don't forget to tag somebody if you feel like this was valuable. And be sure to comment and let me know where you're watching from. Thanks.